Welcome to the Profitpreneur Power Play podcast, your daily dose of strategies, insights, and action steps to grow your business and build your freedom. It's time to stop playing small and start making power plays.
Hello and good morning. Welcome back. We're doing a continuation for this podcast. The past couple of weeks, we have had an amazing YouTuber who has faceless channels, as well as face forward channels. And she's back. And this time today, we're actually going to do a little bit of Q&A. So we're going to have some fun. So let's bring her out now. Bree Lewis, hey.
Hi.
All right. So just to recap, with the channels that you do on YouTube, the majority of them and your biggest channel is Faceless, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So I'm gonna get into a few questions that we actually got from our audience that they really want to know. So let me pull those out. I don't know if you can see them in your section too, but I will also put them on the screen.
Okay. I think I have them.
You have them?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, go ahead and click the one you want to answer first. And I'll read off the question.
Wait a second. I do have them, but just not. I don't think I have them.
Where you can't click them.
Okay. Yeah, right.
I knew that. Which one though?
You just go in order.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right. So here's the first question. When you hit your first 1,000 subs and got monetized, what changed and what should I expect?
Okay. So first of all, I have had multiple channels over the years. Technically, I had without knowing that that's what it was back then, because it wasn't a thing then. My first monetized channel, I had that closer to 2014 to 2015. And the standards or the regulations or whatever for becoming monetized were completely different. From what I can remember, they were way more laid back too. You didn't need as much as YouTube qualifies or says that you need now. So I will say the biggest thing that changes probably when you get monetized is you get a better idea of what content can get monetized. For example, YouTube has something where they have a rating system now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, they measure ad suitability, right? So there's maybe 2 or 3 videos that I have where I talk about something that is a little more, not necessarily risque, but it's more so for obviously for an older age range. Therefore, my ads on that video are limited, right? Whereas a lot of my other videos, it's free real estate, basically. They can put whatever ads they want on it. Okay. So that is one thing that you'll have to have in mind, I guess, when you're making content. One thing to expect, not all of your content is going to be as marketable per se as some of your other videos. And so when you make content from that point on, you kind of have to keep that in mind, because that will affect, the ads and then the revenue that will come in from that. Another thing I will say that you will probably, well, it's not a bad thing, but I noticed that specifically with YouTube, once you do hit around that 1,000 subscribers mark and you get monetized, your channel does kind of blow up. YouTube is going to start showing you more. You're going to pop up in other people's feeds and recommendations more. Just because YouTube is like, oh, okay, you're monetized, which means to some degree we approved you and your content. So we feel comfortable showing you to more people now. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. And I do remember just before they made these changes of the 1,000 subs and all of that, I had finally set up my AdSense account. And then literally right after that, they were like, oh, changes to our partner program. And then I couldn't be monetized anymore. So I think I got one small check of $20 or something that.
Yeah.
And then they were like, nope, you need a certain amount of subs and this. And I had just started my channel, and to be honest with you, and I think a lot of folks that may be watching might feel like this too. Once I saw it was like, oh, you have to have 1,000 subs, you got to have all this view time. I kind of felt a little bit discouraged because I was like, oh, that's going to take me a while. So I kind of stopped thinking about that.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, I kind of like what they have right now because it's a little more flexible. Especially they also do qualify your channel if you happen to also post shorts and you happen to hit the credentials, because they have credentials for regular videos versus shorts.
Right.
So they're like, well, if you don't do it this way, then you can do it this way. Or if you don't have the subscribers, then you can at least get the watch hours,
Right. And matter of fact, I'm going to grab this information and I'll put it up here. This is just a quick breakdown of what they expect from all of us.
Oh,
hold on, I think I see a comment.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Jeff. Hey Jeff. Yeah, I didn't even know. I was like, oh, this is amazing, and then just cut it out, right? Now I will say this while I'm getting up this information. It like I said, to be honest, I did feel a little discouraged when I saw those changes. However, it did not stop me from wanting to find a way to make money with my YouTube channel, and I did.
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't do it through AdSense. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, in that case, when you're looking at it, there's so many different ways to monetize your channel. But typically, we know typically when people are describing that, they're really talking about becoming monetized through YouTube's AdSense or Google AdSense. All right. So
one thing I was gonna say is it's actually funny. Like I said, I had a channel that was monetized years ago, like literally 10 years ago. And I have noticed that YouTube is actually, I don't want to say that they backtracked, but they've changed what they allow. So back in 2015, I was, like I said, I've been doing the same thing, faceless, same genre of faceless content. And when I was first making them, I got monetized, no problem. Then a few years after that, YouTube got a little bit more strict, and they were like, well, we deem this as low quality content, because at that time, what had blown up were, it was vlogging. So it was people showing their faces, talking, sitting in front of a camera. And then now, because faceless content is back in and it's popular, YouTube was like, actually, wait a minute. I think we might allow y'all to do that. So now they've gone back to allowing and heavily supporting faceless content, faceless channels. But there was a period in time where they were like, this doesn't require as much effort to make, so we're not really going to pay attention to it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Little fun fact.
I've even heard in some cases they like double check just to make sure, and they're like, oh, are you actually making these videos and it's not all just AI?
Yeah. The time before the last time that I got monetized, well, when you're eligible to do it, YouTube lets you know, and of course you have to submit. And most of the time it's automatic. They'll, have like a bot or a person scan your channel and then boom, you're monetized. But in that era that I was talking about where they were cracking down on certain channels, I remember they were like, okay, well, before we can like approve you or monetize you, you need to record a video showing us how you make your content. So you need to show us like your setup, like my desk, my computer. We need to see the programs that you use. We need to see everything.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think they do that as much now, but they did it back then. That was maybe around 2020 or so.
Yeah, because they want to actually make sure you're putting in work before they pay you.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yeah, I had heard about stuff like that too. All right, so you guys, real quick, I'm going to put this up. To monetize on YouTube, you must meet specific criteria to join the YouTube Partner Program, YPP, including having either 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 valid public watch hours in the past 12 months, or 1,000 subscribers and 10 million valid public shorts views in the past 90 days. That is a lot of views, but you also have to remember it's shorts. And so a lot
Right.
of times you'll get multiple views from one viewer, right? Because the videos are so short. Sometimes a person missed something, they need to see it again, or the next short will automatically play for the next person,
Yeah.
or what have you. So you can get quite a lot of views with shorts.
Yep.
But like I said, for me, I was just like, that's a lot. I'm not ready for all that. I'm just trying to get my information out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe this Thursday I'll tell you guys how you can monetize your channel without monetizing through this. But in case you were wondering, this is the information. Also, you must have an active Google AdSense account, live in a supported country, and follow all of YouTube's monetization policies, which are subject to change at any time. So you have to stay on top of things, because if you have gotten used to making your content a certain way and then they make changes and you didn't realize it, that's no excuse. They're still gonna, demonetize either that video or sometimes your entire channel.
Yeah.
So,
Because sometimes they don't even issue any strikes. They're just like, well, terminated, because that has also happened to me before.
oh my God.
But I got it back. I got the channel back.
Okay, good.
I woke up one day, it was gone. I was like, all right.
Oh, I got a question, but let me finish asking what the people want to know. What's our next question? How do you come up with content ideas that don't sound like everyone else's? Whether that's for a video specifically or the entire channel, how do you come up with these?
Okay, well, every time that I have started my own channel, it was always started from me seeing someone else's channel and going, they don't have what I'm looking for, so I'm just gonna go do it myself. And then I went and made it. But I if I had a nickel for every time I could go with doing some sort of call without bringing this quote up, I would be rich. But there's a specific quote from Bruce Lee that I really, really like, where he mentions, when you are branding to a certain degree, when you're branding yourself, or even when you're learning who you are, you acquire, new information, you acquire things that you didn't know, stuff that doesn't interest you, you discard it. And then the things that you naturally like, or just your natural thinking pattern, the way that you would typically do things, you apply it to what you learned, what you acquired. So I feel like that is kind of adjacent to how I've always started my channels. I do look at what other people are doing. However, I take only the things that I like about their content. And then I'm like, now what can I add to it that's me, that would make it stand out, make it unique? And I also, I think this was maybe a few years ago, I had taken a writing course, and the teacher had said, one thing that people want to do is just, try to pull from their creativity, but we don't realize a lot of the time that our creativity is feeding off of someone else's. So she was like, to help you work on crafting or writing your novel, or at least the plot or the outline for your novel, read novels that you like. Read novels that do, stick out to you or resonate with you. And then those like core things that make that novel your favorite, or make it a book that you always pick up, even though you've read it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Take that and implement that when you write your book, when you write your story. So that's kind of how I come up with ideas. I've seen someone they made a video and I was like, oh, this is so good. But see, I would go into more depth and more detail. And so I took the idea that they had, but then I broke it down and was like, let's add this, let's reword this, let's make this longer, let's make this shorter. And then technically it was something brand new because it was mine, and I added so much value to it that it was disconnected from what I was originally inspired from. So.
That is very interesting. And I gotta say, I will sit these days, I'll sit and watch YouTube like it's TV. I don't watch as much TV. Well, I don't watch any, we don't even have cable, right? So I don't watch any of that. It's nothing but streaming. But even still, with those stats you gave last week, I could totally see how more people watch YouTube than they watch the streaming sites, because I'm that's me. I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
But when I'm watching them, I'm thinking about what it would be like if I made a channel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some channels where you watch folks and they're so inspiring. You're like, when I get to that point, I want to be able to do that too. Or there's folks that's kind of on the level that you're on right now. And you're watching them and you're like, yeah, I would, if I did a channel or talked about this topic, I probably would have added this, or, oh, I just discovered this, so I have an update that they didn't mention.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you guys doing that. I feel like a lot of times people think that it has to be 100% original. Nobody else has ever, you got to make sure nobody's ever done, what you doing, what you talking about. And that's just impossible these days.
Yeah.
Because there's so much out there.
Yeah. And like I said,
Yeah.
a lot of people's favorites with their authors, writers, whatever. If you ever sit down and you watch or listen to interviews from a lot of them, they also have influences too. Even Beyonce, people my age would probably cite her as an inspo or as inspiration, but she would say her inspiration is Tina Turner. Tina Turner would say her inspiration is so and so. So it's like it's a train of it's almost like passing a baton in a way.
Yes.
And if you listen to people's influences, you'll be able to see little bits of the person that inspired them and what they do. Like for Beyonce to say Tina Turner, I'm like, oh yeah, I see some of her stage presence and how she performs in Beyonce. So it's the same thing. It's like it's a nice little passing on of creativity.
Yeah, absolutely. And also with that, when I first got started online, that was one of the things that I had to learn. Fortunately, I learned that part real quick. Other stuff I made mistakes in, but this one was pretty simple. And that was, I noticed, well, actually everybody's talking about the same things. So what makes it unique is really me. I'm unique. There's nobody else like me. So how I deliver the content is going to be different from anybody else, even though we might be speaking on the exact same topic.
Yeah.
I might have certain insights on that topic that's way different than this person, or we might give the same tips or the same advice, but I might deliver it in a different way. My personality comes out differently. I'm shocking but funny. Right?
Yeah.
So it's bold and it'll shake you up, but it makes you think after you laugh, right? It'll make you think and then you take action on it because I give you the tips to do it. So stuff like that is really important to pay attention to. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. People say that all the time, but it's really true.
Yeah.
So make sure that you guys think about that. Look around and don't look at people as competition. Look at them as inspiration, right?
Yep.
They are not competition. They're colleagues.
Yeah.
So you learn from them.
Yeah.
Right.
That I will say that's one thing that I think even though I don't necessarily act anymore, there's so many things that I learned from when I was that I'm like, actually, this is very practical and I can apply this to like all the rest of my life. And that is one of those things. I was never a competitive person. And I always had a really hard time at looking at other people or looking at my peers as, oh, only one of us can win. Only one of us can be the successor. That just never really clicked for me. I always looked at it as, you have your unique take on it. I have mine. And both of those things are equally as important, equally as beautiful. And on top of that, like you said, if I, had a peer or whatever, I would like to get some of their thoughts, or I would watch their audition or whatever. And I would think, I like that. I might add a little bit of that into what I do, but not steal it exactly like I said, but just put my own twist on it. But I like that quirk. I like what they were able to uniquely pull out of it. That also appeals to me. So it's the same thing. But I was actually going to say what you said about value and how, yes, you can have the same topic, but have different people talking about it, and you will still be completely interested because every person's experience, their perspective, the lens that they use to look at things and narrate things in life, completely different.
Yeah. I cannot tell you how many different travel influencers I watch, right? And they'll be going to the same places and sometimes even show you some of the same like tourist spots. But because they made their videos in a different way from each other, I still love them both. I don't feel like I have to pick one. as my absolute favorite and only subscribe to that person. And the same way that you as a viewer might do that, guess what? The viewers that have been looking for you, waiting for you, are going to do the same thing, even though if in the past they had a go-to person, maybe that was their go-to person that was like a placeholder until you show up. But you got to show up. Right? Yep. All right. Next question. I think we only have time for one more, but I have quite a few questions.
All right. I guess we could just do more next week.
Yeah. All right. So next one. Do you promote your videos anywhere outside of YouTube, or does the algorithm do all the work?
I'm going to be honest. I'm very lazy with promo. I won't say that everybody can do it, but also I won't discourage you. I think it's possible that it could depend on your niche in terms of promoting outside of YouTube. For me specifically, what I do, it kind of is specific to YouTube. YouTube kind of has, in my opinion, a little bit of like a monopoly in terms of being the place to go for videos specifically. That's not television. So people typically always end up coming to me as opposed to having to promote and bring people over to where I am.
Yeah.
But I kind of let the algorithm do all the work. However, there are a couple of things that I used to do. I would comment on people that made similar content to me. I would comment on their videos, be like, love this, great video, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I might have to, watch your video alongside mine, or it seems like what you do complements what I do. And then people would be like, what you talking about? And then they would come on over and see what I was doing. So commenting was one thing on other people's videos, is one thing that I used to do. Just because, one, it helps their engagement, and two, it also helps you because it's marketing without marketing. Another thing that I think I used to do, and notice I'm saying think because I haven't done this in a long time. I hardly remember. I would make playlists too. So I would make a playlist with some other people's videos, but then I'd also put some of my videos in the playlist because people also do search for playlists as well. And that would also help with my content showing up. But my Faceless content has a very high retention rate. So when I do check my analytics and stuff like that, I've actually noticed that a lot of people discover me through people's playlists, other people's playlists. So that's one way, but I really just let the algorithm do its thing. And like I said, once your channel hits a certain point, you can kind of go semi hands off because YouTube will start pushing your channel for you. Other people will start sharing your content, sharing your videos. I think, what was it? Even just today, I sent a video in my family chat saying, y'all, oh, this is funny, blah, blah, blah. I made a joke or something, but I still shared it. I still put it up. So, algorithm definitely works in your favor once you kind of break over that, you get past that threshold.
Yeah. I love that actually, because you keep it simple. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. One of the reasons why is because we're all so impatient these days. We're used to so much instant stuff. Now, not revealing my age too much, but I remember the days before the microwave, the days before the internet, the days before there was all of this instant result, everything, right? And you had to wait for things. I remember before we had the, at least before it was popular, the microwave popcorn, right? So it was, you had a popcorn machine and you had to wait. You pour it in the kernels and you wait for it to heat up and you wait for it to pop. And we're just, these days, that's just not how things are. And people want everything fast. So when they come to YouTube, knowing that YouTube is the place to be for that long-term content and having that long-term sustainable audience and possible customers from that when they don't put out the first video and go viral, they get discouraged, right? They just barely go and put out the second video, discouraged. And then they just stop and they feel like social media is like instant. So I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go over there. Yeah. Now, one of the things that we teach is start with YouTube. And then you can, and this is me, I'm teaching folks this now from my own mistakes. Okay. But you start with YouTube because that's going to be there and your stuff is going to be there. And then you use your social media to drive traffic to it, but only after you start to consistently post on YouTube. And
Yeah.
again, everything I just said, I made nothing but mistakes in all of that before.
Yeah.
So don't fall into the same trap that I did, because for years, like 9 years, I was, well, was it 9, 8, 9, something like that, 7, 8, 9, right? But for years I had done video in Facebook Lives. Why? Because it was instant,
Mm-hmm.
right? I was instantly in front of everybody. I didn't have to edit anything. My audience, Facebook was pushing that at the time when it was new and all that. So I was able to build an audience. I was able to even get some conversions and sales from that. But look at it now.
Yeah.
Facebook done taken down everybody's damn live streams,
I
right?
was gonna say
Yeah.
that, especially if you take into consideration what I had said in my last call, where I was talking more about short term versus long term, it is much, 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 much easier to get your long form people to watch short form stuff versus getting
Mm-hmm.
short form people to
To
watch
watch them.
long form stuff, because they're like, all
Yep.
right, 12 seconds, I'm done,
Yep.
and then they click off the video. You're
Yep.
not getting the watch hours, right? People that watch long form content, they're like, oh, that's it. Well, I guess I can watch another video. They might actually
Yep.
be more prone to watching more. So
Yeah, that's what we be doing, Chael, because that's
yep,
what I do, especially on the weekends. I'm
that's what
like,
I do.
that was shorter than I thought. I've got time for another one. And you just
Right.
keep watching the long form content. So
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes the short stuff is too short for us. We want to keep watching things and binging.
Yeah. Oh,
And I think, oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say, that was the other thing I was gonna say that I almost forgot. With another thing with YouTube is that, because it's, like I said, it's more supportive of long form content. I feel like even when you start your channel, keep that in mind. Now, that's not to say, oh, you're going to be sitting here for 85 years. I'm not saying that. It's just, keep in mind that, you know, it's a long haul thing. So don't, like, it's not like TikTok or anything like that. Don't get on YouTube thinking, all right, I'm gonna post this video and this first video is just gonna go viral. That's just gonna be the one. And then it doesn't. And then now you're discouraged. Every single time I started my channels, whether it was my faceless ones or not, I always started it with, I want to post just because I want to post. I want to put up something that no one else has put up, and I'll put up more videos like it because I like doing it. But if you go
Mhm.
into it with that mindset of, I'm expecting this very, very specific result, all the times that my channel has blown up, it blew up when I was not expecting it and I wasn't trying to make it happen.
Mhm.
Given I was to a certain degree manifesting in the sense of, it would be really cool if this blew up or whatever, but it was not my goal. My main goal was, no one made this content. Or with one of my channels, my goal was, well, I want to fill in this gap where no one is really posting stuff like this. That way people can find what they're looking for. It was always this sense of, I want to put something out for other people. And if it benefits and the benefits come back to me, that's great. But it was always this sense of, what can I supply to the world that it doesn't have right now,
Mhm.
have yet? And then I
Yeah.
made it. So I think that's like
Yeah.
a healthier mindset too.
Oh, much healthier.
Uh,
Because when I was doing those live streams, it was several times a day. I would do 3 bare minimum, and I think the most I ever did in a day was like 9.
mhm.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
When if I would have taken the same topics, the same concepts, or even the live streams themselves, which I did download all of mine, thank God, before they got rid of them all. So I still have mine. But if I had taken that and put it on YouTube, which I'm just now doing 9 years later, that would have been so useful,
Mhm.
because again, one of the reasons why you have to do it so often is because it gets lost so fast, because everything is instant. And with YouTube, it's a much more relaxed pace. I even did a test. I think I mentioned this in a podcast with Bob. I had done a test with YouTube. Is it more advantageous to do a video every day, and really hustle like on social media, or does it make more sense to do what I've seen people do, which is post like once a week, twice a week at most, or do it maybe 2 or 3 times, and then just kind of, just consistently show up, but do maybe on average one video a week. And it turns out that that's what they want. They want
Yeah.
the more relaxed pace schedules.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. So we have run out of time. We actually went over the time and we acted like we ain't noticed. Uh, but we can definitely come back because I still have a few more questions that people had don't answer this time, we'll do it next week. But how did you stay consistent with uploads if you're doing everything yourself, especially if you're running a business too? And also, do you have any AI or automation tools to speed up the process? And if yes, which ones? If y'all want to know the answers to those, guess what you got to do? You got to subscribe. You got to like. You got to share. No, we want you to do that. But most importantly, you got to come back. So same time, same day next week, we'll have Bree back on and she can finish answering those questions and possibly a few more. But Bree, thank you so much. This has been so helpful for folks because, again, you hear the same old thing when people talk about faceless content on YouTube, and you never really get to see a lot of, this part.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, having you on with me, we're like on opposite sides
Yeah.
because you're doing the consistent stuff and I was doing the get it out, get it out, get it out. But I got so nervous. I started off on YouTube and I didn't like it. I was so self-conscious because I thought everything had to be perfect. And
Yeah.
I was not in a position to make everything perfect yet. My skills weren't on that level yet. I didn't have the right lighting. I didn't have the fancy mics and all of that I just felt like, I'm looking around and everybody else had it. With
Yeah.
Facebook, I could just go live. I was terrible at editing and I had to keep getting somebody else to edit my stuff. So with Facebook Lives, I just went on outside, sunlight's the best light, right? And just doing it without having to think about it. But
Mm-hmm.
now, as you mature in your business, you start to mature in your thinking and mature in your strategies, and you realize, it is now time to have a different strategy for the stage that you're in now.
Yeah.
So this is what I love about Profitpreneur, you guys, and we definitely would love to have you be a part of our community because you'll have access to Bree, just like you have access to Kim, like I mentioned yesterday. We want to walk you through this stuff, and as you can see, just in this podcast, we've been on a half an hour, and we just scratched the surface. There is so much more depth to having a business that is going to last. We are not here to show you fly by night crap.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to show you how to hurry up and get $1 today, and then you don't know what you're going to do for the next 3 months. We're here to show you how to make sure that you can pay your bills consistently, since they keep showing up consistently, right? And be able to go as far with it as you want to. Not everybody wants to be the 7 and 8 figure earner, but that you want to be able to bare minimum supplement whatever income you already have. You want life to be easier for you. You want more time to do the things that you actually want and be there with and for the people that you care about. That is our values too. That is our mission too. We're looking for connecting with entrepreneurs that not just want to profit for the sake of flashing money around, but to do it for the sake of leaving a legacy. So inside of our membership, we have 3 different levels. You have Academy, Pro, and Premium, and we have 4, count them, 4 different education tracks. And thanks to Bree, she has inspired the company to bring out a 5th education track next year. So you want to get in now while the pricing is still great, and we're still in a very soft launch, so that by the time we are out there and people don't heard about us and our prices go up, you won't be kicking yourself saying, I wish I was here back when. Okay. So come on in. We even have a 14-day trial available for you so that you can really get a feel for what the community's like and get a feel for the kinds of training that you'll get. And we're all here. We're all available. And we know what it's like to grow these businesses. Okay. Whether it's network marketing, affiliate marketing, product creation, digital services, or even like Bree with strictly content creation and monetization through AdSense. So you can do it, and we're here to help. So thank you guys so very much for hanging with us. Cannot wait to see you back for the next one. All right. Take care, everybody.